Okay, so what my first question was for you is, what is the approximate area of the circle? So what we did is, we know that this circle can be inside this square, or this square. Now we know, because we've already learned this, that the area of a square is length times width. So if we go through and multiply 4 times 4, that comes out to be 16. Now we also know that the area of the circle doesn't take up the whole area of the square. And it looks like we have about 1, 2, 2 that are not accounted for. So maybe 14 or 15 is a more accurate estimate. Now, a lot of the students in here, what you guys did is you just went through and you counted how many squares there were, which is awesome. Okay, it's another good idea. Okay, but I want you to remember this. This right here is important. Length times width. When we're talking about a square, though, on a square, it's side times side, isn't it? Because a square, it's not really length and width, it's side times side. Another way to write side times side, okay, S times S is S to the second power. All right, when we're dealing with exponents, whenever you have a cute little itty bitty 2 to the right, that shows an exponent of 2, which is a squared symbol. Now, really quick to go through that with you, if I have 4 squared, what that really means, this is the exponent and that's the base. So this is 4 times 4, okay? If I have 8 squared, that is really 8 times 8, okay? And this is 16, obviously, and this is 64. The same thing works for variables. If I have r squared, what that really means is r times r, okay? All right. Now, we've learned a formula for circumference. We know that circumference is found either by pi times diameter, oops, there we go, or circumference is found by 2 pi radius, okay? Area is different because circumference is the distance around the circle. That's what circumference is. But area is everything inside of the circle. So there's going to be a lot more area than there will be circumference. So here, I'm just going to give it to you guys right now. I'm going to give you guys the formula. The formula to find the area of any circle, doesn't matter what size it is. Area equals pi, because we found out that pi pretty much goes with every circle, times the radius squared. So A equals pi r squared. Whoop, whoop. Okay, area equals pi times radius squared. So this is one of those things where it's a formula. And basically, I'm just going to tell you the best way is just memorize the formula. Just memorize it. All right. So area is pi r squared. Whoop, whoop. Area equals pi r squared. Whoop, whoop. That's Mrs. Irving's cute little song that she taught. So area equals pi r squared. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Now, what this means is it basically means the area of a circle is pi, and sometimes you're going to plug in 3.14 for that, sometimes you won't, times the radius times the radius. That is what pi times radius squared looks like. So let's take a look at number 7 together. Jasper draws a circle in a coordinate plane. The center is at 6, 5. What is the area of Gaspar's circle? Write your answer using pi. So we're not going to get the real answer or the actual answer. We're going to use pi. So if you look at this, here's my formula, right? Pi times radius squared. So that means I need to, in order to find the area, I need to identify the radius. Now remember what that cute little song showed us today. The radius is from the center out to one of the edges. That's the radius of any circle. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, my radius is 4 units. Okay? My radius is 4 units. So now all I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to substitute that value into the formula. So area equals pi times radius squared. Now notice, okay, I left the units out and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, people, this is where we separate because I have way too many people get this right here and they're like, oh, 4 squared, that's 8. Miss Parkin, it's 8. That's what they say. Miss Parkin, 4 times 2 is 8. It's not 4 times 2. It's 4 squared, which is 4 times 4. So area equals 4 times 4, which is 16. So to rewrite this, because remember, you're in math class, numbers come first. The area is 16 pi. Now we're going to label it. And it's units squared. This is my label. Now, some of you guys are probably saying, whoa, how'd that label get here? Because in this spot right here, I really did 4 units times 4 units, right? So we already knew that 4 times 4 was 16. Units times units is units squared. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit of information. Okay, so that is what we get for the area of a circle that's on a coordinate plane that has a radius of 4. Ooh, look at this one. So this one says the diameter of a circular dartboard is 18 inches. What is the area of the dartboard? Write your answer using pi. All right, now this is important stuff because if you've ever played darts, all right, you know how important it is to know the area of your dartboard so that you can figure out what your odds are to be able to hit one of those spots. All right, so here it is. Area equals pi times radius squared, right? I always like to start out with my formula so I don't forget it. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. The diameter is 18 inches. So they're telling us that our diameter is 18 inches. Well, my formula doesn't have diameter. It only has radius. So what do I need to do to my diameter? Divide it by 2. And there it is. So my radius is 9 inches. So again, if they give you the diameter, the very first step that you need to do is divide it by 2 to find your radius. Okay, now let's plug it in. So area equals pi times 9, we'll keep the label in there, 9 inches squared. Do not, I repeat, do not tell me that it is 18. All right, it is 9 times 9. So area equals pi times 9 inches times 9 inches, which comes out to be pi equaling 81 inches squared. But since we're in math class, we're going to rewrite it properly. So the area is 81 pi inches squared. Okay. All right. So This one right here, now we finally get to take pi out and we finally get to use the value of pi. All right, so a circle has a radius of 10 centimeters. What is the approximate area and what is the exact area? So I'm going to show you both today, but I'm going to tell you guys this right now. If you don't have a calculator, hey, it's totally cool. Sorry, just a second. It's totally cool if you we're going to round it. We're going to estimate it. Okay. All right. Sorry, just a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, what is this? What is this? Okay. All right. So so this is what they do. All right. So first of all, we know area equals pi times radius squared, right? Okay. So we're going to leave it in terms of pi first. So area equals pi times 10 centimeters squared. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. So the area, the estimate, is going to be 100 centimeters squared. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the pi symbol and I'm going to replace it with 3.14. Now, I know you guys know that the pi is like 3.1417, blah, 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 blah. It keeps going. It's called an irrational number. Okay, it never, ever, ever stops. But for pi's sake today, we're always going to just round it to this. So our estimate, the area of this would be 100 times 3.14, which is 314 centimeters squared. That's our estimate. If I wanted to get my exact answer, all I would do is I would leave the pi symbol in there. So it'd be 100 pi centimeters squared. Now if you guys do have calculators, like my calculator right here, okay, there is a pi symbol. So all you would have to do is go 100 times the pi symbol, and then this would give you more of an accurate answer. But again, this goes on forever and ever and ever. So why do that? Let's just leave it as pi. Okay. So any comments, questions, or concerns? Nothing? Are you sure? Oh. Okay, last example for the day today. The diameter of a Canadian penny is 19 millimeters. The diameter of a Canadian nickel is 21 millimeters. How much greater is the area of the Canadian nickel than the area of the Canadian penny? All right, so the penny is 19. The Canadian is 21. And the question that we're trying to find is how much greater is the area? So in order to do that, we first have to find the area of both. Now, if our diameter is 19, that means our radius is half of that. So half of 19, I know I shouldn't have to do this, but it's Thursday. Okay. And so half of 19 is 9.5. So that's my radius of the penny. Okay, this one would be 10.5. Okay, now that I know both of my radius, I can go ahead and find the area. So here's my penny. My penny is area equals pi times radius squared, and I'm actually going to solve this out. I'm going to use 3.14 for pi. Okay, so area equals 3.14 times 9.5 squared. Okay, and this is where you guys are more than welcome to use calculators today. So to square this, just to let you guys know, you could go 9.5 times 9.5, but you know what? Look at this. There is a squared button right here on the calculator. So if I do that, I'm going to square that, right? Oop, I don't want to square twice. That would be bad. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to multiply it by pi, 3.14. And there it is. And I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredths place. So the area of this penny is 283 and 39 millimeters squared. Notice I brought back my label. All right, now let's do the nickel. Okay, again, I always like to start off with the formula. It just makes it easier. So we know pi is 3.14 and my radius is 10.5 squared. So I'm just going to punch that into the calculator, sorry, not computer. So 3.14 times 10.5 squared. Now, if you want to do 10.5 times 10.5, that's fine. It's the same thing. So this comes out to be 346, and again, I'm going to round it, and 1900ths millimeters squared. So to find out which one is greater, we're going to subtract them. So the nickel minus penny, so 346 and 1900ths minus 283 and 3900ths. And it comes out to be about 62.8. So the nickel is about 62.8 millimeters squared larger. Okay. All right. I just wanted to go through that problem just because it was a multiple step problem that you guys might see. Okay. All right. Just one thing, don't forget, as you guys are doing your assignment tonight, if it says estimate, if your problem says find the estimate of the area, that's when you put in 3.14 in for pi. If it says exact, that means you're going to leave pi as the pi symbol. Okay, so just don't forget that part. All right.